So we come to the registration, authentication, registration, input, demo right here. So I'll show you how to set title. Now we're going to add the buttons. We create the buttons. You pretty much just call add, because JFrame has the method name add, and just say button. I'm going to call, normally the better name for this is JBTN, JButton, right? And the name is register, because I can have several buttons, one for registration, one for authentication, correct? Registration, JBTN. So let's run this. A big button, right? Now if I click this, I wanted to call registration here, which is going to pop up enter username for me, for example, right? How do I do that, right? So come back to my Pure demo. You need to make it listen to the event. And at this point, you learn this more in 201. We call implement action list tender. What it does, it's going to, you need to import that in. This is called an interface, okay? And when you add an interface, you require to add the unimplemented method, which is action performed. So to make the button listen to the button click, implement it, add unimplemented, and register the button to it. So JBTN registration add action listener to this. So that's it. That's done. 3 things: implement it, add unimplemented methods, and register by add action listener to your button. Now, this is just simple logic to implement, which I'm going to show the new registration page. I just instantiated here, right? Which is going to call my registration right here, constructor, correct? So let's test if it works. Ooh, right? Enter username. Right, I hit register, enter username. I can say test. But my registration didn't do anything yet. But I just show you how to linking them, right? Question about layout. How we can add, let's say I want to create another button. This is going to be authentication, right? Login, right? So normally this button is called sign in, right? Correct? So let's say sign in then. That's why name is important, right? Some of you name A, B, C, D. It's gonna be very confusing, right? If I want to add same, right? You have action listener already. What you need to do is just register to it. JBT sign in, because you already created a listener for that, which is this. JBT and sign in, missing N. And then of course you need to add to where. Let me do adding right here. So you need to add to the frame, right? JBTN sign in. Now, when you add to your frame, what happens? We have sign in, right? Where's the other one? Is the other one? It's listen to the same action. That's why it just pop up again, right? What's the other one because of the layout? It's always put, the other one is at the bottom. It's stacked into the top. So what do I need to do? Set the layout, right? So we can set layout, right? So normally we like to set right before we add, right? Set layout to new. Let's just make it simple to be flow layout. Or actually this is not a bad idea to have grid box. There's many layout. A class, yeah. If I want to stack like an X, I add first button, second button, on the top of each other, I do X, right? And then I need to import, right? Did we have imported? Missing semicolon, right? And one second, let me fix this. Okay, so they don't. Now we need to check the constructor of box layout, right? It's talk about doesn't match, right? Right. So JavaDoc is important now, right? It's a class again. So box layout JavaDoc. You see, JavaDoc is very important. That's why I asked you to do it. How to use box layout? That's one way. You can refer to that too, right? They call constructor, which sometimes it's very hard for you to read this if you're very new to this. Then you need to refer to JavaDocs. Okay, just need to provide the panel itself. And what's the panel? Let's try this because JFrame. When I said this, I refer to JFrame itself. Let's try that. What happened? It's a box layout can be shared. This has to be panel then. So let me show you. Let's use FlowLayout first then. I'm going to show you the other one. Oh, because the constructor, they don't have, if you check on JavaDoc constructor for box layout, right? Summary of the constructor, target, and like you want to be X or Y, right? There's no such constructor with one parameters, only one constructor with two parameters. Then you have to match exactly. And target container, let's just talk about what is a container. Now, if I want to look at the hierarchy, there's a hierarchy here, it's called swing, everything here. Let's look at the hierarchy right here. See that object, component, container, J component, J button. So let's look at, that's a better one than this one. that's showing you where's the JFrame. Like if I do this, I refer to JFrame, right? Applet is on this part, JFrame is on here. See that? Let's visit page, make it bigger. So JFrame right here, right? So I'm using J button, right? I'm using JFrame, right? And the layout, it says it has to be container, right? When I read Java doc, I just try to show you how to read it. I have to have container. So container is a frame. You see that? Because this is the hierarchy, right? Then I can, any of this can go into that parameter. It can be panel, window, applets. Makes sense because they're all container. Like even JButton can go on to on that too. For that layout. But let me not confusing you that much. Let me just make a simple layout. Yeah, let's do just simple. Flow, that means it's going to just like going to X axis, like one at a time, like that. See that? So if you see that, so that's why the layout, there's so many layout. Okay, one may be harder to use, one may be easier to use. Like flow is the easy one. Now he said, how am I going to do the input without popping up the other one, right? So sign in, I want to do that by using text field. Alright, before I'm confusing you even more with this one, I'm going to go to the small registration one. Registration, when you do that, what it's going to do? Pop up username, right? And give you one input, right? I can actually, I want to show you some simple thing. If I just add text field when I register, okay, JTXT, and say username equals to new text field, and text fields too. We can do password field then. Password field, pwd password equals to new password. I think they call password, not password field. So let's see, just import them in. Right. Not that one. Let's see, it's just password field. It's a class again, right? There's no, let me check form. If I do manual import, it's just going to show me swing dot. There you go. Look for yeah, it's a password field, right? There you go. That's right. After import. So I didn't use frame here. I try to show you. I can do panel too. Now panel. If I let me just add this first before I do that. If I want to add